Hello and welcome to the Rai Centre in Amsterdam. It's Saturday the 11th of September. You're watching IBC TV News. On today's programme, within touching distance, how close is TV via the internet? Ready to roll, the world's smallest studio goes on the road. And how to edit a blockbuster. It's a masterclass with the man who cut Avatar.
You must choose your own Ikram, and he must choose you.
Well, it's what we knew would happen, and now it's almost here. A consortium of British broadcasters is close to agreeing a system that'll allow content to be delivered on demand via the internet. They're not the only players in this game, and once again, compatibility issues are looming. This report from Rachel Foley.
It will merge broadcast with broadband. The UK's Project Canvas will mean audiences can view on-demand internet content and access internet services via their television. It's a venture the BBC's Director General has called the Holy Grail of broadcasting.
What Canvas represents is an absolute explosion of choice, and as long as there's great quality content, I think that's going to be exciting for audiences. So whether it's the Holy Grail remains to be seen. I'm sure in 10 years' time there'll be another Holy Grail, but right now it does feel really exciting.
But Project Canvas is about more than providing internet-connected TV. It'll also create an industry-wide standard for the UK for internet-connected television devices. Now that's angered some other broadcasters like Virgin Media, who provide similar services. Virgin claims it will significantly and irreparably harm the TV sector by destroying the market for such products. But regulators say a common standard is necessary.
My guess is different service providers will choose different standards, but the key thing for us is to ensure that there's a common baseline standard that everyone can work to.
Audiences can already access some web content through their televisions, like the touch-screen model demonstrated here. But internet-connected television will open up new markets for broadcasters, though they'll need to be savvy to ensure audiences don't bypass their content for other internet material.
The stats are about 60% of TVs will be internet connected by 2014. So we see that as definitely the way that broadcasters are trying to get the content out there through the internet.
Now ends Charlie.
But it's not just traditional broadcasters who need to be savvy in this brave new world. Charlie's a popular YouTube video blogger. He's concerned about his blogs being viewed side by side with big budget programs through a television set.
Kind of gives me an advantage in terms of reaching a wider audience, but gives me a disadvantage in terms of suddenly kind of communication between my audience is a little bit crippled, because usually what I have on YouTube is I have lots of people commenting on my videos, people sending video responses, and as soon as you put the internet onto the television, that connectivity kind of disappears. So it has kind of ups and downs.
Project Canvas is expected to launch next year, giving broadcasters a chance to see whether internet-connected television will bring the business opportunities flooding in.
Rachel Foley reporting. Now with news of some announcements from Sony and today's other business stories, here's Paul Brandt.
Thanks, Rob. Sony has returned to IBC by announcing a string of sales to broadcasters around the world. In Spain, TVE and Telemadrid have both installed Sony HD cameras in new OB trucks. TV2OJ in Denmark has bought a Synapse network solution to manage a doubling of its daily output. RSI in Switzerland is modernising its ITV infrastructure with Sony's media backbone platform. And Television New Zealand has placed an order for Sony's new XD-Cam HD422 memory card camcorders. Telestream has finalised its acquisition of video transcoding business AnyStream. The company says the purchase extends Telestream's business in the rapidly growing transcoding market. Meanwhile, a report by Instat forecasts that the multi-format transcoding market will grow rapidly. Currently worth €92 million a year, volume is predicted to rise to €234 million by 2014. Eutelsat is helping Orange La 3D channel to launch in France. The country's first commercial 3D TV service will be on Eutelsat's Hotbird satellite for homes without cable. Sky Italia has chosen digital transport provider Aspera to transform its content delivery system. Aspera has installed a high-speed file transfer solution at the broadcaster's Rome and Milan facilities. Grass Valley has also announced several deals at IBC. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation has launched its News 24 channel with core Grass Valley HD systems, Aurora and Ignite.
Thank you, Paul. Now, the keynote session at yesterday's IBC conference focused on programme funding. Now, as we know, of course, only all too well, there has been a marked dip recently in advertising revenue. Now, for many commercial broadcasters, that has presented a huge problem. Not quite such a problem, though, perhaps for subscription services like Britain's Sky B. Well, I'm delighted to say I'm now joined by their Chief Operating Officer, Mike Darcy. And Mike, in many ways, you really do have the ideal model to fund technology development, which is just what you're doing right now.
That's what we think. I think we're in a much happier place than the free-to-air broadcasters. Our revenue is growing very strongly, and the business model is one which allows us to monetize these new technology innovations, which means that we're much more able to adopt them early and really make a lot of them in our story. That's what we did in the early days of HD, and 3D is really just the next version of that.
How much of a risk, though, do you think you're taking with 3D? Is it still just a gimmick?
No, I don't think that's right. I think the costs of the 3D story are very manageable, particularly because we're able to deliver 3D over the existing HD box that we've already been putting into around 3 million of our customers' homes. So it's an incremental opportunity. The production is a bit more expensive, but I don't see much of a risk there. And no, I don't think it's a gimmick. I think what you see in the early days of these technologies is you see doubters. You saw that 3 or 4 years ago with HD. I think those people have gone quiet now because it's pretty clear that that's become a big technology story. I think 3D will follow the same path.
And whilst you're investing all this money in developing technology, there are other broadcasters who would say that you're not investing nearly enough in homegrown content.
I think we're very proud of our record of investment in content. In fact, Sky spent around £2 billion last year on content, around half of that in the UK. Some of that was sport, some of that news, but quite a lot of it also was original commissions for our general entertainment channel, Sky One. We're very proud of what we're doing, and we're very keen to do more, so I think that's what you'll see.
Okay, Mike, we're very grateful to you for coming to talk to us. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.